Hello, Marcus Boston, and welcome to another video today on Marcus's Corner. Look, I know it has been a while since I posted. We have been slammed with work, and I just finally got done with some cases and stuff. And so Renee and I are now finally able to start back moving around again. And I want to talk with you guys today rather quickly about our trip to Florence, Italy. Now, we went to Florence because there was a birth injury conference and medical malpractice conference that we attended. And so I was able to go, we were able to go to Florence, and of course I had to do some work, but we were able to kind of slither away a little bit and still enjoy some of the sights. So this review, and I'm in Zurich, Switzerland right now, and I finally got an opportunity to be able to sit down and talk. So I want to talk with you about what was it like, our experience in Florence, Italy. If you've never been, then hopefully this video will help you kind of get an idea of what to expect and what's going on currently in Florence. Now, when we flew in, we flew in from the DC area, and because we were not able to have a direct flight, so we had to fly from the DC area into Amsterdam and then take a plane from Amsterdam into Florence, Italy. And this is where we get started. Now, if you're watching this in the States and you're in the city, if you live in a city or you have access to things like Uber, Lyft, and ride share, those types of things, first and foremost, no, that does not exist in Italy, or at least we did not find that. So when we got to the airport, which was kind of a rather smaller, on the smaller side, when we were able to get off and everything and we came out, we were kind of like, okay, how do we move around? And so when we got out of the airport, what you will find is that taxis are prominent. Like taxis, that's how you're moving around. If you are a tourist and you're trying to move around, taxis are the way to go. Now, you do have access to rentals. You can rent the little mopeds and the little, you can rent cars. So that seems to be something that a lot of people were doing. But what we did is we had an easy, when we got off the plane, we were able to get our luggage. We had to kind of wait for a little bit because there was a line for the taxis, and the taxi service at the airport, because we flew into Vespucci, the taxi service was on the side of the airport. And so we got our taxi, and from there our taxi driver took us to the Westin. We stayed at the, Renee, was it Westin Excelsior?
Westin Excelsior.
Yes, we stayed at the Westin Excelsior in Florence, Italy. And guys, let me tell you, that hotel, I'm just gonna just straight come up and just hit it. We had an amazing time there. The service was great. I mean, it was great. Yeah, primo, Renee. Primo. From arriving, we got help with our bags, brought in our bags, went to the front to check in. Check-in was smooth. I mean, we had no problems. We had a little bit of a late check-in, so our room was already available for us. And if you're kind of worried about, you don't speak Italian, you speak English, it didn't really hurt us that much. A lot of the people in the hotel, they did speak English, or they spoke enough of it to help us be able to get through with everything. So the hotel, when you come in through the front, they've got the revolving doors, and that building has a very old and rich history. And when you come in, you can kind of tell, you kind of get that feeling of everything. It's got the solid wood, you got the marbles, you got some of the columns, you got the staircase. And so we were able to have a very good time at the hotel. As it pertains to the room itself, we were on the 3rd floor. And something else, when we got into the rooms, really what struck me as kind of funny or kind of strange was, you'll notice that the windows open, like they open. There are no screens, they just open. And so you can open your window and like just stick your head straight out. So that was something that was a lot different coming from America. You know, we have screens, and in some hotels you can't even open the windows, but we were able to open the windows. We had, what type of room did we ended up having, Renee? We had just a, was it
a general king?
We had just a general king, I guess that's what it would be called. We had just a general king, and it was spacious for us. It was nice. Housekeeping was very on point with everything. The hotel was extremely clean. extremely clean. And that type of stuff, that is important. Nothing too fancy with our room, but it was a good room. Now from there, I'm going to talk with you guys about what is breakfast looking like if you want to partake in breakfast. Because we were at a conference, but we ended up, we got the breakfast package, Renee?
Yes.
Yes, we got the breakfast package, so our breakfast was included in our room, with our room. And I think the price for breakfast was at $45 a person, Renee, I believe?
It's 45.
45 euros, I believe.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
if you pay for it daily.
Okay, if you pay for your breakfast daily, I think it's like 45
But if you're a
euros
member
if you pay daily.
If you're a member of the hotels, sometimes they offer you packages when you book your room.
Okay.
So you can add the
You can
breakfast
add it.
in.
Okay, and so what my wife was saying off camera was that if you are members of the hotel, sometimes you can get these packages where you can add the breakfast aspect to everything. Breakfast was a good spread. Buffet, so if you want your omelets, they have that. They have your regular eggs, they have potatoes, they have bacon, sausage, cereals, fruits, all of the, they've got it. And the service, again, A1, breakfast staff, A1. Again, very clean. You will like the breakfast if you eat breakfast at the hotel. And I'm going to stay with the food aspect of things a little bit here at the hotel. The breakfast area and some of the area in the front, at night it will turn over and that will becomes dinner. So there's a restaurant and a little bar area inside, of course. So you can also have an opportunity to eat if you want to eat dinner at the hotel. That's also there. We were able to partake. There's a little area off to the side of the hotel where you can sit outside if you want to do that. And Renee and I, we had an opportunity to do that. I had the beef fillet, which was amazing. It was really good. Had some mashed potatoes with it. And Renee, you ended up getting a fish. What type of fish do you remember?
It was sea bass.
She ended up with the sea bass, and there was some vegetables, I think, with the sea bass. And of course, wine, plenty of wine. We're in Italy. Now, moving away from the hotel, I'm going to talk quickly about just what was our experience in Italy, moving around. And I'm going to be honest with you. You guys see me. I'm a black guy, afro, beard, white, black woman. We kind of didn't know what to expect in Italy because on social media, we've seen a lot of people who've had different types of experiences. So we were kind of cautious a little bit, but I'm going to just come up and just come straight out with it. Renee and I, we had an amazing time. We didn't have any problems. That was our experience. We had no problems. The people were so welcoming. When you move around, if you're in the old town or the old area of Florence, which is where the hotel is, you're going to notice a lot of mom and pop type of shops, and you're going to notice also a lot of places where the food and the cooking is homemade. So you're going to run into a lot of pastas. You're going to run into pizza. You're going to run into breads and things of that nature. The food was so good, from lasagna to, of course, fish we had, even hamburger. The food was really good. And I just can't really say a lot about it. It was just, we had a really good time with the food. You can tell that the food, nothing is processed, or we did not have any food that was processed, which is a big difference from eating food in America. So much of your food in America is processed. We did have an opportunity to walk around Florence, so at least the old part of the town is very walker friendly in that instance. Now, if you have wheelchairs or things of that nature, because the roads are brick and stone in some areas, that can present a challenge. So I'm going to put that out there. If you have that going on, it's going to present a challenge. When we just visited, the weather was kind of hot. So take that into consideration too. But we are, again, we're in September, and so the weather was a little bit hot for our days there. We did have an opportunity to go down and to see the cathedrals, the city centers, again, the big churches. It's all there. and these buildings are beautiful. A lot of detail in the craftsmanship, and a lot of time was taken in making a lot of these figures. We did go to try to see the David, and I'm going to tell you, because we had a conference, so we kind of, you know, we couldn't set things up beforehand, so we just kind of tried to go. Look, the line was like down the street, around the corner. If you want to go see the David, you got to either get your tickets early or be prepared to wait. And I mean really wait. That's something a lot of people want to see, and unfortunately we were not able to do that, but we were able to walk the city, and we did walk across, what's the bridge, Renee? The Golden Bridge? The Gold Bridge. We were able to see that, and we were able to see some of the other sites in Italy. So you know, I'm going to wrap it up with everything. All in all, Italy, if you're thinking about visiting Florence, which is where we were, we had a great time. I would just say that if you're going to go, make sure you got your walking shoes, be able to dress accordingly. At night, it was a little bit cooler at night with things, but during the day for us, it was hot. We got it on the hot side. And also the water, you'll be able to see, because if you stay at the Westin, you'll be able to see the sunsets, the way the sun comes in and the way the sun hits the water. It's really beautiful. So if you're kind of on the fence and you're like, should I do it, should we not? In my opinion, it was a great place to visit, and I'm sure Renee and we will be back one day. All right, that's going to be it for today's video here on Marcus's Corner. As I said, we're in Switzerland right now. I'll probably, if I can get around to it, I'll get a video together. We're staying at the, we're at the St. Gothard Hotel. I think I pronounced that right. We have a junior suite here, very, very nice, with the balcony on both sides. So hopefully I'll be able to, if I don't get too busy with things, to be able to give you guys a review of our trip here in Switzerland also. All right, that's going to be it. Take care, everybody.
Traded inside. And then you have the